Hello, and welcome back to Sharing a Chapter a Day. This is Do, Ra, me, and today I will be reading Chapter 103 of Engagement in Peril by Dara, Odoe, Sok. Chapter 103 is titled Chief's Mistake. Unfortunately for me, one early morning, shortly after my late watch that night, Chief Edbeck came into our barrack all irate and peeved out of his mind. He looked at the daily watch log bill, where we log in what goes on in our barrack of every minute of every day. From the sight of what he saw was written and logged in on the form and document, Chief Edbeck had got even angrier. He tore down the mailbox that the log sat atop and flung the whole container toward my direction. He had been paying attention to what was going on with the chief. I jumped out of the way to escape being struck by the flying, heavy wooden container. Chief Edinburgh had thought it was my fault that the watch log bill was written incorrectly and took it out at the closest person to him, which was me, of course. "Fucking recruit! Get your faces on the floor now!" he screamed at the top of his lungs, the command to get all of us into a push-up position. All at once, the entire barrack of recruit dropped down on their stomach and into push-up position. No matter where we were, behind the bunks, next to the back exit door, or in the bathroom, we all went down as ordered. His next words were, "Who the fuck messed up the watch log bill?" No one answered. In our prone position, we looked at each other as though we didn't know what was going on and didn't seem to understand his inquiry then. None of us uttered a word from his questioning. Harshly he continued, "Who the fuck messed up the fucking watch log? Who fucked up the fucking watch log?" After the repeated question, Shinchin yelled out, "Chief! No one, Chief! Chief! No one! No one messed up the watch log, Chief!" That was ballsy of Shinchin then, answering the chief that way. "Get your ass up here, Igami," the chief demanded. Shinchin thrust himself upright from his inclined position and quickly made his way to the chief's area. "Yes, Chief," Igami reporting, Chief. "Chief! Yes, Chief! Igami reporting, Chief!" Shinchin spoke confidently. The chief handed Shinchin the watchlog clipboard, and when Shinchin looked it over, the chief pointed down onto a line or two written on the log. "Chief, that's your initial there on the line, Chief," bravely Shinchin answered back for the second time. With every recruit in the barrack on their aching hands and toes, Shinchin stood fast against the chief. Chief Edbeck then jerked the clipboard from Shinchin's hand and took a second look to see what Shinchin was talking about. Carefully looking over the area that he had previously pointed while directing Shinchin's eye earlier, Chief Edbeck smirked and took a step back with the clipboard, clutching his right hand, and to his side he screamed out, "Attention! It has come to my attention that Shinchin here has something to prove to you damn recruit. Company 388, on your feet!" the chief demanded. And as we had been taught, all at once we jerked up to the upright position and at attention. "Company 388, GQ position!" a second command came from the chief. Once this demand was uttered, we all reassembled ourselves in rows of twos in front of our racks. No one made a peep. We all just followed orders and did what we were told then. The chief gestured to Shinchin with his eye to get back in formation. Shinchin too returned to his GQ spot directly across from mine. "Company 388, first off, allow me to apologize for fucking with you guys. I was just testing to see if anyone you had the balls to stand up to me," the chief bashfully boasted, embarrassed that his face soured, knowing that he himself had fucked up with the watch log. "I see that at least one of you do have some balls," he stated, and looking in Shinchin's direction as though to congratulate him for standing his ground and in front of our authority figure. Shinchin quietly giggled to himself. While I watched him from across the aisle, as though he understood what the chief meant. The rest of the day went smoothly. Afterward, privately, the chief pulled me aside and apologized for his irate episode that morning and for throwing the wooden mailbox at me. I think he was covering his back from any legal liability if I were to report the incident to the ship's commander at the ship's quarterdeck. With his right hand stretched out for mine and returning his gesture, I shook his hand and calmly remarked, "Think nothing of it, Chief. The box didn't hit me," while eyeballing him to make sure he was sincere in making his so-called apology. Shinchin giggled over the matter as I told him later on what the chief had done to apologize to me. From then on, the chief and I were cool with each other. He knew that I wasn't the type to make any mistake. He knew that I was always punctual and accurate when it comes to taking care of the watch log and doing my duties as the number one stickman for our company of 388 then. Chief Enbeck even gave me a pass during our rifle drill exam when I fell asleep when I had already been inspected and while I was standing up and my rifle almost dropped to the concrete floor below, which would have caused the entire company to fail the company's exam. I awoke in time to grab my rifle before it smashed to the floor. He quietly laughed at the incident and kept his cool about it. Now, as we got more weeks into our training, we began to have more of off time. So on slow days and during our downtime, our RDC would order myself and the six other stickmen to go teach the new recruiting class on various flag drills for parades and ceremonies that they too would have to endure during basic. He wanted us to teach and make sure they understand and get the drill and be precise as we were during our drilling trials. After all, we were the best during our trials out of any other recruit company during our basic cycle then. Thank you for listening. This is the end of chapter 103. Be on the lookout for chapter 104, titled Kevin Gross is the Real Forrest Gump. This is Doe, Ra, me, and I'll see you later. Thank you.